A year ago, our world was very different. We were gathered in the gym for the Sullivan High School Patriot Day Assembly. We took time to honor those whose lives were cut short on September 11, 2001. Current and retired first responders and members of the military were here to receive thanks from our school and community for all that they have done for us. Hundreds of us were all together, and no one was wearing a mask. No one had heard of COVID-19, and our lives had not yet been impacted by a global pandemic. As school started this year, the Career English class had to make a choice. Do we cancel this program to remember and honor those connected to 9/11 and those who still serve and protect us today? Or do we find a way to still show our appreciation? The film you are about to see is proof that we found a way. Finding a way to make things work in difficult situations is something that the people who we are honoring today do every day. While it may not be a perfect, polished Hollywood production, this film is our way of thanking the local men and women who serve and protect us, and honoring and remembering the victims and survivors of 9/11.
And now, the Star Spangled Banner will be played by the Sullivan High School Band.
Thank you to our band for starting out our assembly so powerfully. September 11th has been declared the National Day of Service and Remembrance. It is also known as Patriot Day. Today, the people of the United States are asked to serve their communities in some way. Today, we honor and thank those who love our country enough to serve and protect it, and us. They do their best to make the United States of America an amazing place to live. Today, September 11th, 2020, is the 19th anniversary of the terrorist attacks of September 11th, 2001. We are here today to honor and remember those who lost their lives on that day and the war that followed. Today is a day to serve, to honor, to thank, and to remember.
The skies of the early morning of September 11th, 2001, were the beautiful clear blue that comes with fall. The city hummed with life as people from all walks of life and from all over the globe were starting what seemed to be a typical day. Thousands of people were making their way to the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City. People were heading to their jobs at Cantor Fitzgerald, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, and Windows on the World, a restaurant near the top of the North Tower. Nearby, at the Tin House, firefighters were starting their shifts totally unaware of the life-changing events that would start at approximately 8:45 a.m. Across the city, tourists were heading towards museums and the Statue of Liberty. Students and teachers were ready for a full school day, and planes were taking off and landing at JFK and LaGuardia airports. At the Pentagon near Washington, D.C., military personnel were prepping for a busy day near Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Folks were waking up and heading to work, as usual, in New Jersey, Boston, and near Washington, D.C. Airplane passengers and crews were getting ready to fly to California on planes filled with thousands of gallons of jet fuel. And then the world changed. And September 11th, 2001 was no longer a typical September day. At 8:46 a.m., the North Tower of the World Trade Center is struck by American Airlines Flight 11. At 9:03 a.m., the South Tower of the World Trade Center is struck by United Airlines 175. At 9:37 a.m., the Pentagon is struck by American Airlines Flight 777. At 9:59 a.m., the South Tower collapses. At 10:07 a.m., United Airlines Flight 93 crashes near Shanksville, Pennsylvania. At 10:28 a.m., the North Tower collapses. The 2,977 people were killed on 9/11. 412 of them were first responders. Of them, 343 of them were firefighters with the FDNY, including a chaplain and 2 paramedics. 37 were police officers with the Port Authority of New York and the New Jersey Police Department. 23 of them were police officers with the NYPD. 8 were EMTs and paramedics from the private ambulance services, and 1 was a patrolman from the New York Fire Patrol. 246 victims were on the 4 planes, excluding the terrorists. 2,606 victims were in the World Trade Center and in the surrounding area. 125 victims were at the Pentagon. More than 6,000 people were injured. As of July 2019, 1,644, or 60% of the 2,753 World Trade Center victims' remains have been positively identified according to Medical Examiner's Office. More than 2,000 people have died from an illness related to the attacks. U.S. declared war on terror on September 12, 2001. U.S. military deaths in the war on terror through 2018 total 6,967. Like Pearl Harbor, September 11th is a day we live in infamy.
It feels very strange that today we do not have our special guest at the high school with us. Honoring them, they are not being treated to a lunch with Miss Lawson's cookies and treats from the baking barrage. They are not getting any person thank yous or seeing the students of our town gathered in appreciation. We hope that today we have a chance to watch this video and know that their work is appreciated. Now we'd like to thank them and recognize them by name.
For the firemen, we have Mike Piper, Larry Edwards, Chris Wright, Shannon Miller, Caleb Randall, Troy Mummel, Kennedy Graven, Dan Boyer, Tyler Wright, Grant Faulkner, Josh Quayles, Bev Kuhn, Colton Pryor, Joshua Davison, David Welsh, Travis Reed, Trevor Hughes, Brandon Young, David Reed, Adam Collins, Colton Rose, Chris Coy, Blake Reed, Wyatt Centel, Christopher Dapron, Rob Young, Chris Smith, Ortha Phillips, Derek Carter, Jason Fleming, Drake Grubb, Jacob Simpson, Robert Best, William Reedy, Garrett Bryant, Tricka Welsh, Kaylee Faulkner, David Reed, Terry Warren, Elmo Weaver.
These are the members of the Sullivan Police Department: Chief Andrew Pastorius, Assistant Chief Josh Qualls, Officer Jared Hayes, Officer Adam Collins, Officer Brad McReynolds, Officer Tom Leahu, Officer Andrew Smith, Officer Brian Johnson, Officer Bryce Ferris, Office Manager Janet Dirks, Dispatcher Taylor Shelby, Part-time Officer Don Typer. These are the members of the Moultrie County Sheriff's Department: Sheriff Chris Sims, Chief Deputy Gary Carroll, Sergeant Paul Hildebrandt, Sergeant Mark Risley, Deputy Aaron Thomas, Deputy Gary Eller, Deputy Caleb Smith, Deputy Brandon Beckwith, Deputy Jesse Scribner, Deputy Robert Kidd, Deputy Brody Bickle, John Love, Jail Administrator Trussell, Leeds Administration Beck. These are the members of the Illinois State Police: Louis Kink, Ryan Sterick, Brian Kronk, Mark Hawley, Ryan Faust, Matt McCormick, Tom Lillard, Pat Van Hovlen, Adam Traxler, James Cleast, Nick Orndorff, Rob Cosgrove, Kyle Patton, Scott Bisnotti, Alex Hager, Joseph Rush, John Haley, Garrett Revere, Travis Brewer, John Copel, Pete Hackelman, Luke Dorsey, Christopher Whiteman, Bob Woodard, Chad Carlson, Michael Holt, Eric King, Kevin Caskey, Troy Davis, Madeline Johnson, Drew Weaver, Clay Woodard, Shaquille Hayes, Tyler Isaacs, Steve Fuhrer, Anthony Michael, Nick Harris, Todd Hankin, Dakota Tucker, Mackenzie Jennings, Joshua Yeager, Robert Kocher, Steve Trapp, James Pierce, Ron Tisdale, Robert Lyons, Alexander Oakley, Christopher Martinez, Zach Miller, Nicholas Stroud, Corey Thompson, and Cole Wynn. These are some of our community members and alumni currently serving in the military: Chandler Thompson, John Ernst, Brent Mock, Colton Rose, Tristan Carroll, Torin Crisell, Tristan Menard, Brady Mapes, Michael Qualls, Tyler Elzey, Matt Klukas, Bryce Hubbard, Matt Ray, Evan Crary, Tristan Witten, Corbin Hoots, Hugh Galiza, Ethan Neville, Tessa Whitley, Jacob Bale, Haley Morgan, Blake Stewart, Noah Lucas, Zach White, Jacob McIntosh, Austin Scott, Jordan Boyer, Josh Sinkler, Quentin Britton, Tori Wiley, Kobe Wood, Joe Piercy, Emily Berry, Derek Elder, Jake Hughes, Wyatt Groller, William Comstock, Andrew Sparrow, Gavin Harlan, Craig Davis, Colin Wickheiser, Jessica Williamson, Cameron Martin, Kyle Kalasian, Ryan Kalasian, Charlie Goss, Lexi Elder, Cody Hawbaker, Valentine Thole, Abby Elzey, Hannah Elzey, Heidi Clements, John Gavin, Willow Lang, Aaron Rouser, Dylan Short, Jessica Nilsson, Emily Hornstein, Josh Schindler, Alexandra Holder, Taylor Godfrey.
We would also like to offer special thanks to retired Sullivan Fire Chief Jeff Waite, retired Sullivan Police Chief Jim Wagner, retired Sullivan Police Chief John Love, retired Moultrie County Sheriff Rick Kendall, retired Moultrie County Sheriff Jeff Thomas, retired Illinois State Trooper Rick McFarland, retired Illinois State Trooper Joe Snyder, the late Illinois State Trooper Tom Hauser, and the many other first responders and members of the military with Sullivan connections. Thank you for your service to our nation and to our community.
What is a hero? Today we are in the presence of many people who are heroes, men and women who are willing to risk their lives to save others, men and women who perform courageous acts and have noble qualities,
They often inspire us to be our best and take care of us when we are at our worst. But we are also in the presence of everyday heroes, people who perform great deeds in the course of their everyday lives. Wells Crowther was an everyday hero 2 years ago. Career English student Cameron Kesterson created this award. As a class, we decided to continue with the award. Cameron learned about the Wells while watching a documentary about 9/11. Many survivors of 9/11 remember the man in the red bandana. He was helping save them. They did not know who he was. They just remember the red bandana he wore. Today we are honoring several students and staff members with the Red Bandana Award. We ask students and staff to nominate people who they feel do good deeds and help others, are brave, stick up for people, and do these things because they want to do the right thing. We are excited to recognize the following people. As your names are called, please come down and receive your certificates. This year, we would like to recognize 4 exceptional students who are receiving the award a second time. They are Zoe Walton, Dakota Sarge Fries, Dimitri Toll, and Connor Golden. Other student recipients of this year Red Bandana Award are freshmen Ben Bushu, seniors Carly Toll, Jared Goad, Chase McClure, Austin Sims, Peyton Poole, Reagan Krause, and Mallory Nichols. Staff members receiving the Red Bandana Award this year are Mr. Scott Bales, Miss Becky Lawson, and Miss Annie McClellan.
At this time, we would also like to honor the family of U.S. Navy Captain Jack Punches. Captain Punches was killed while working at the Pentagon on 9/11. Several of his family members are from Sullivan, and Sullivan High School junior Ethan Vogel is his cousin. We thank you for his service to our country, and we are sorry for your loss.
On this National Day of Service, we ask that you do what you can to help our community. Find a way to help someone, stand up to a bully, visit a nursing home, mow your neighbor's yard, donate blood, give food to a food pantry, encourage a classmate, or simply be kind.
When you see veterans or members of the military, take a moment to thank them for their service.
Finally, we ask that you honor our nation and respect the flag. Say the Pledge of Allegiance with enthusiasm, and if you are concerned that someone is going to do something that will hurt other people, contact someone who can do something about it. We can all call to do something to help others.
Sandy Dahl, the wife of the pilot of Flight 93, the plane that the passengers took over on 9/11 to keep it from crashing into our nation's capital, said, "If we learn nothing else from this tragedy, we learn that life is short and there is no time for hate. We are a great and diverse nation, and we stand strongest when we stand together."